homepage of my website was Buzzle, and it was a website that lends a lot of information for all kinds of career choices. It has a section on resume writing. There's a section on career tips, how to prepare for an interview, how to excel in a job career, how to pick your career path, salaries. It was just it was a great website, I thought, for somebody who was beginning their career, their professional career, trying to prepare in every aspect of finding that one job that they want. There was too many links to discuss on the website or to put down in the presentation, so I picked out 3 that I felt they discussed pretty well and I think would be the most beneficial for someone starting out in a new career. One was a section on resume writing. There's a section on how to excel in your sales career. A lot of don'ts in that section, and there was a full section on it was all tips for the interview process, prepare for an interview. We're going to start on the resume writing. Mostly in the resume section, it showed a lot of things that you need to put on your resume, as most sections would. It starts out with your full name, phone number, your permanent address, or your current address, depending on where you receive most of your mail, email address. Next, your qualifications. That would be your educational qualifications. For instance, if you're a college graduate, what institutions you graduated from. For instance, I would be Marshall University. If you have a GPA of over 3.0 or above, they said it was very important to list it. Anything under 3.0, you probably want to leave off your resume. What type of degree you have. For instance, if you have a bachelor's degree in business and economics, list that. If you have a minor, any minors that you have, you would list those too. Third, you want to state your actual work experience. Any past part-time or full-time jobs, internships, very important. And then you want to discuss the dates that you worked at all those jobs, and anything that you learned that would pertain to your new job at that job, or any special skills that you had. Finally, or not finally, but you want to state your skills intellectually. For starters, good communication skills, skills that would pertain to the job that you're trying to apply for. You never want to list skills that have nothing to do with the job that you're tailoring your resume to, because honestly, the employers they'll just look over it. And finally, any any educational professional recommendations or awards. For instance, if you in National Honor Society, a promotion in a previous job. If your previous job was in sales, maybe you were the sales leader for that week, you want to list that on your resume. I mean, it's an accomplishment employers should want to see. The next section we're going to discuss is it talks about how to excel in your sales career. Really, the more I read about this section, it wasn't quite as helpful, but it did discuss a few things. It talks a lot about learning how to deal with people telling you no when you're trying to sell a product. You can't let fear of being told no overtaking your drive, your thought. You don't want it to cloud your experience. For instance, it says a few things that fear can cause would be fixation, which causes people to try and force uncontrollable actions. So maybe somebody you're with, you're trying to sell to, cater to, they're not really feeling it, they're not really they don't really like what you're trying to sell, but you're so afraid to hear no, you're pushing it, and you're driving them away, when in all reality, if you would just accept it, maybe here in the near future, they would come back to you for that product. And next, fear can cause us to refuse development alternatives because there's clouded our visions. You're set, you got a plan to go in one way, to try and do things this one way, and when it's not working, maybe you want to think, try something else, try a different approach. Finally, the third step, tips for job interviews. In a job interview, an employer evaluates a potential employee to establish how suitable he or she is for that company. Obviously, more and more these days, a pre-screening for a job interview is more important than almost ever. A pre-screened phone call, you don't want to answer when you're in a noisy area. If you're going to answer for anyone, be quiet in a quiet area. You don't want to have any distractions. You don't want the person to think that they're bothering you or you're not putting them first on your time. Also, but back to the resume, you want your resume to stand out because every employee, or if you're a recent college graduate, all the people you've graduated with may be applying for this job, putting the resume in for this job, because I mean, if you think it's a good one, then they're obviously going to think it's a good one, and they're probably just as qualified as you are. So you want to make your resume stand out even better than they are. Especially true in the selection procedures in business schools and high-end business jobs. You want to study the requirements of such interviews beforehand, and so you can get an extra step up on your competition. The website as a whole I thought was very helpful. Like I said, for somebody entering the career field, a recent graduate, somebody who's even had a career for a long time. Maybe they retired, or maybe they were cut off or laid off from work, and they're trying to rejoin the workforce. I think this website would definitely be a huge plus for them. There's a lot of different links, a lot of different information, resumes, interviews, how to find that job, what you're suitable for, salaries. I think the website just has everything, different links you can click on, articles, and the whole shebang. I felt like the job interview tips could have been a little more info, could have a little more info. It didn't go in great depth, just kind of skimmed the top. The resume writing I thought was very helpful. It was definitely the spot on. I thought everything they said was on to key what I've learned and what the career service building says. So it's a great link. I would recommend it highly. And finally, how to excel in the sales career. It was good information, but they kind of stayed on one topic. If they would have maybe spread it out a little bit, it would have been a little bit more helpful. But overall, I thought the site was very easy to use. I would definitely recommend it, and I think I'll definitely be using it here in a few months when I try and join the workforce.